friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. Today we're going to be talking about the books that I hope to read in the month of August. I have a lot to talk about because I have a lot of books I want to read. Isn't that the problem of every book nerd? So many books, so little time. I will start by talking about the two books that are the options for my Goodreads read-along, Books and Jams read-along. For the last part of 2020, I'm going to be having two books every month instead of just one, so that it gives people more options. I know some libraries are still not open. I have one library near me that is open, but the other library kind of went backwards, back to just contactless pickup, like checkouts only, not to come into the library. So I know everybody's in a different spot with their libraries, so I have two choices. Hopefully you'll be able to get your hands on one of them. There's one that's a little bit more backlist, and that is The Peachkeeper by Sarah Addison Allen. I'm so excited to read another one from her. I don't normally like magical realism, but for some reason, Sarah Addison Allen books that I've read, I've absolutely loved. She always has a little touch of magical realism in them, and this one just feels perfect for summertime. This one involves these two women in this southern town and a big old family home that one of them is turning into an inn. In the midst of updating and remodeling this home, they find a skeleton under the peach tree outside that digs up some secrets that involve these two families in this small town, and it just is going to be charming and wonderful and possibly read in one sitting because it's not super long. I'd love to have you join in the read-along if The Peachkeeper sounds interesting to you. And this was one of the books on my 2020 recommendations cart, so some of you recommended me to read this one, so I'm really excited to knock another one of those out. The other book is a newer release. It's Ask Again Yes by Mary Beth Keane, and this was on quite a few people's favorites of 2019, and so I'm very excited to get to it. I don't really know much about it except that it's a family drama, a little bit more literary maybe than what I normally read, but I've heard that it's just so wonderful. So I'm really excited to read this with the read-along group as well, and would love to have you join in with either The Peachkeeper or Ask Again Yes. Earlier in July, I talked about my goals that I had set for the year, and it kind of reignited my motivation to knock some more of those goals out. One of them is 5 authors that I wanted to read, and Jhumpa Lahiri is one of those 5 authors. So I'm hoping in August to read Interpreter of Maladies. This is a short story collection, which I don't read a lot of short story collections, so I'm kind of excited about that, but also nervous. This did win a Pulitzer Prize, and it is also on my 2020 recommendations cart. So I'm excited to knock out all those things and just to give this one a chance. I have heard such praise for Jhumpa Lahiri, and obviously she won a Pulitzer Prize as well. So I'm really looking forward to this one, Interpreter of Maladies. Let me know if you've read it and what you think. Also, one of my goals for the year was to read 5 different classics, and I've so far only read one of them. So I'd like to pick up another one in August. This is Far from the Maddening Crowd by Thomas Hardy. And now I know in my in the read-along group, before I decided on Gone with the Wind, I did a poll with some of these classics on it, and many of you chose this one. So I may set up a little group of some sort if you're interested in reading Far from the Maddening Crowd in August as well. Let me know in the comments below. Maybe we'll do a Voxer group with a handful of us, or I don't know what that could look like, but let me know if you're interested in reading this along with me in August. I have a book of another author I've been wanting to read, and that's Denise Hunter, and I'm going to read Blue Ridge Sunrise, and I am going to be budding reading this one with Becka Hicks. Becka is one of the lovely women who sent me some books for my birthday, and we had already set this up, so it was a double surprise. I'm excited to get to know her a little bit better, as well as read Denise Hunter, finally, because I have quite a few of her books on my shelves. I'm really excited to dive into Blue Ridge Sunrise, and I feel like this will be kind of a quick romance read. It's Christian fiction. I think this has one of those tropes where a woman leaves her hometown and then due to an illness or a death in the family, she has to return back to her town and of course falls in love with somebody back in her hometown. So I feel like that's the trope that this is going to follow, but I'm okay with that. I'm excited to read it. One of the books I predicted would be a 5-star read in a video that I did a couple months ago now. I do want to be making progress with that list, is The Alice Network by Kate Quinn. This was one of my read-along picks last year and I just never got around to it. So when Stephanie, Happy Librarian on Instagram, reached out to me to see if I wanted to buddy read this with her, of course I said yes, because I love buddy reading and I'm excited to read this book and it's the motivation that I need. So Stephanie and I will be reading this together in August, and this is female spies during World War II story, dual timeline. I've talked about it quite a few times and it should be pretty familiar because it was all over when it first came out. So I'm really excited for this one, getting some historical fiction in my pile this month with this one. So really excited about that. The next pile I'm going to show you, because I'm not sure which of these I'm going to get to. At the beginning of the year, I started a project called the TBR Unhaul Project, where I took a look at my TBRs from 2017 and 2018, and if there were books on my TBR that I hadn't yet read by now, 2020, I'm throwing them on my TBR, and if I haven't read them by the end of the month, I'm gonna unhaul them. Well, I started out really good doing that at the beginning of the year, and then I think in March or April, I kind of let it slide away, so I only did like 2 or 3 months of it. So here I have a pile of 5 books from June and July of 2017 and 2018 that I haven't yet read. So I'm hoping to get to these. And the reason that I'm doing this now, it's August, there were none in August that I didn't read from those 2 years, which is awesome. I read all of those books either in those months or since then. But in June of 2017 or 2018, I have 3 books that I had put on my TBR that I didn't get to. One of them is The Firebird by Susanna Kearsley. This would be a companion / sequel to The Winter Sea by Susanna Kearsley, and I haven't read Susanna Kearsley in a really long time, so I would really love to get to this one. Also, I have Silver Sparrow by Tayari Jones. I have read American Marriage by her, but nothing else, so this is one that's been on my shelves for a while, obviously, and I would really like to get to it. I believe this is like a father passes away and a daughter realizes he had a whole other family or something along those lines. I really enjoyed her writing in American Marriage, so I'm looking forward to reading more from Tayari Jones. And then also Letters from Home by Christina McMorris, who is an author that I really enjoy. I've read 2 or 3 of her books so far and really like them. This is a historical fiction that takes place in 1944. I think 2 friends kind of fall for the same guy, and one of them asks the other to ghost write letters to him. He ends up being a soldier in the war. So it's wartime, which I love. It's letters, which I love. And it's Christina McMorris, which I love. I have high hopes for this one. Hopefully I get to it in August. And then in July of 2017 and 2018, one from each, I have 2 Lucinda Riley books. Lucinda Riley is an author that has been on my radar for a long time, and I have quite a few of her books. And so the 2 that have been on past TBRs are The Lavender Garden and The Girl on the Cliff. So really, I need to pick up a Lucinda Riley in August. It needs to happen. We'll see how it goes. With my TBR Unhaul project, how it usually works is that if I don't read them within the month, I get to save one of them if I want to, and the rest I have to unhaul. I have 5 here that are all pretty chunky. And since it's June, July, and August, technically, potentially I have 3 saves. So if I can get to 2 of them, because none of these are ones that jump out at me as maybe I want to unhaul them. Once I start reading them, that might change, but as of right now, I'm going to want to keep all of these, even if I can't get to them. We'll see how it goes. That's a lot of books to try to get to in August. I do right now average 10 to 12 books a month, so I feel like I have very high potential of getting to all of these. Also on my radar are sequels. I have my little pile of sequels here that I'm hoping to continue to work on throughout the rest of 2020. I've been making really good progress in sequels this year, and I want to continue that, especially books that will end a series, like Force of Nature by Jane Harper is a duology. A Sparrow and Terrazin is a companion novel to Butterfly and the Violin, which I loved. And Fly Away is the sequel to Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. So those 3 on the end would finish up a series. So those are kind of my priorities in that pile. We'll see if I get to any of them in August. But for sure, these 5 books, 6 books, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For sure, these 6 will be getting read in August. I'm really excited about this pile of books this month. It's going to be a lot of happy reading. So I would love to chat with you in the comments below about any of these books, about what you're most excited to read in August. Let's talk. You guys know I love talking with you down in the comments, and give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will definitely be talking to you in another video very soon. Bye.